coaching staff, I know, was anxious to get this game underway.
In goal for the Soviets, Rashid Davidov is the starting netminder. And the Canadian team, watching Davidov in practice, very impressed with his agility. He moves very, very quickly. And the Soviets gathering round Davidov prior to the start of this hockey game here at Maple Leaf Gardens. The first game in a 10-game international tour for the Soviet team. They will be playing 4 different midget teams across the country. Team Ontario starting things off, then Team Quebec. They'll be playing the team from the Western provinces, the team from the Pacific provinces, and of course the Atlantic team. In goal for Canada is Mike Rosati. He was born in Toronto, and he plays for St. Mike's Junior B Buzzers. So he is the starting netminder in tonight's game for Team Ontario. Anytime, of course, Canadian athletes get the opportunity to wear that maple leaf and represent the country, it's a very proud time.
Oh, it's a tremendous thing, Don. I know these young guys are really proud to be wearing the sweater of Canada tonight and representing their province of Ontario, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime thrill for these kids.
The coach of the Soviet squad, Nikolai Kazakov, did not play elite hockey in the Soviet Union. However, he is considered to be an outstanding coach of developing players.
Yes, he is, Don. He's a very good coach.
So the game is underway, and it's the fours for Team Ontario, moving it to the blue line, but not in, and they take it to the boards and force a face-off there.
You know, Don, generally speaking, most of their coaches do play in the elite division or ex-national team players. This gentleman's not, and he must be a very fine coach. And of course, over in the Soviet Union, a lot of their minor coaches with the youth kids are really very good coaches.
Well, we talked about the thrill it must be for Team Ontario to line up against the Soviet, to represent their country. Quite a thrill for these Soviet youngsters as well, for almost all of them, the first time they have ever been outside their nation, the first time certainly to North America, and in particular Canada. Team Ontario coach Dave Chambers, he handles the York University Yeoman, and he's done a very good job in the 3 days he has had this squad together.
He's had little time to prepare, Don, and that's a real tough challenge for a coach in a short period of time to get things off the ground like this.
Davidov way out of the net to challenge on that shot by Zettler. The puck goes in back of the net, and bringing it out for the Soviets is Fedorov into the center ice area. Fedorov now to Fakeoff. Fakeoff is upset, and the penalty is coming up against Team Ontario, so the Soviets will have a power play.
That's a real problem against European teams, Don. You just can't give them the power play because normally that's their bread and butter, and that's where they'll defeat you. So Canada really can't afford to. The penalty here, you can see it's a good hooking penalty behind the play, and really not a good penalty to take.
And going off for Team Ontario is Kelly Kane. He plays with the London Knights. And the Soviets now go to the power play. Boriskov working his way into the corner, trying to set things up. Back to Lebedev, to the point, as he feeds it back to Kloptsov over on the far side, and it's just fed through the goal mouth. Now at the blue line, it's hammered out into the center ice area as it's brought back by Team Ontario, and Todd Gregory has it knocked away from him as he moves deep into the Soviet zone. Now it's Boriskov for the Soviets. They like to weave through that center ice area as they move from wing to wing and continually move that puck around. Now the Soviets trying to set it up again on the power play, trying to get it back to the point, and they do to Terekov. And then the puck intercepted, but Terekov steps into Gregory, and the Soviets keep it in the Team Ontario zone. Soviets on the power play, feeding it across as they were looking for Lebedev, and it was broken up by Team Ontario, and they shoot it down the ice.
The Soviet power play, as we expected, is very good. Canada's choosing to play a very passive box here and not apply very much pressure.
A loose puck in the center ice area. Team Ontario is back there for it. Anderson feeds it back to Zettler. Zettler shoots it out into the center ice area. Now going back into his own zone is Filatov. Soviets like to use basically the same 5 players in an attacking unit at all times. As a matter of fact, they had made a request to the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association that they be allowed to dress 22 players 4 complete units of 5 plus the 2 goaltenders.
John, they always request that because they want to play complete units, as you mentioned, because they're well coordinated that way, and it certainly does help their team play. Canada, however, did not allow them to dress 22. They're down to 20 players tonight.
Well, Team Ontario has done a good job of killing off this penalty to Kane. And he now is out of the penalty box, and he was almost able to pick up that puck in the center ice area, but as he did touch it, it was a 2-line pass.
Yeah, Don, you notice that Canada, when they played more aggressively against that power play and tried to prevent them from getting the offensive zone, were much more effective. If you play very passively against the Soviets and concede your zone, they can set up. They're very, very potent on the power play, and I thought Canada, the last minute there, attacked when they were a man short, and the Soviets really were disorganized.
Team Ontario now sending out the line of Noble, Chris, and Drulia. And it's Noble dumping it down the ice back into the Soviet zone. Now puck loose in front of that Soviet goal. It's picked up by Chris. Chris beating it in front. As it bounces back to Noble. Noble to the line. Bisson takes a shot that is deflected by Noble. It sails over top of the Soviet goal. Drulia to Noble. Noble trying to feed it out front to Chris. It bounces off the boards back into the center ice area, and Team Ontario with Bisson shooting it in, go to the attack again. 16:43 is the time remaining in a scoreless first period here at Maple Leaf Gardens. As the Soviets go to the attack now, and it's Panfilenkov working in across the line, a slap shot. It deflects off a stick end up into the crowd.
Don, Canada showed some great puck control in the offensive zone there. Stan Drulia really hanging on to the puck and making some great plays from that right side. He certainly is a very skilled hockey player. He plays major junior, I think, with Belleville, and these are the kind of players they're going to rely on tonight. These guys with the major junior experience will be very important.
16:30 the time remaining in this scoreless first period here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto as Team Canada goes to the attack. Turcotte with a drive, and it just missed the far corner. It ricochets off the boards back into the center ice area. Now it's Mark Laniel playing it up along the boards. Kelly Kane, a back pass intended for Turcotte, too far for him as there's a collision in the corner with Palatov and Turcotte. Palatov with that puck, playing it around to the other side to Rostock, trying to get it up along the boards, kept in by Team Ontario. Again, Palatov goes behind his own goal. He flips it around to the other side. Some pretty good bumping early in this hockey game by both teams. The Soviets may not be as big as Team Ontario in stature, but they can bump. Here's a chance for Kane, and what a great save by Davidov. Kane all alone at the side of the goal, and Davidov robbed him.
Once again, Don, some good hard work on this replay here. Canada really hanging on to the puck and making good, strong plays, and I think your point is well taken. The strength we're showing on the puck here. This fellow here just fights off a couple of checkers. Once again, we outmuscle a man off the puck here. 2 occasions, Canada outfought the Soviets for the puck, and that's normally a very good part of our game, and a good comment, Don. We are a little stronger than the Soviets physically, I think.
Kane was trying to get it across to Greenlaw, who was wide open on the other side of that Soviet net. Now the puck in the center ice area as Verbenchik is taken in against the boards. Smith couldn't control it, and it's fired back into the Team Ontario zone. Picked up finally by Lonnie Loach. He feeds it into the center ice area. Purvis and across the line. Purvis having a little difficulty controlling it as he's taken in against the boards by Terakov. Now it's Fedorov in behind his own net. He loses it. Smith comes up with it, feeding it across, and almost deflecting it was Purvis. It just sailed wide. I think Davidov in goal may have got a piece of that puck to deflect it. 15:02, the time remaining in this first period. Fired in again by Zettler. It ricochets off the boards, picked up there by Smith. He's taken in against the boards by Terakov. It goes loose in the Soviet corner. Canada with a couple of good scoring opportunities here in the first period, but Davidov has made big saves.
He's played very well, and Canada's forechecked extremely well, Don. That was one of their game plans, was to apply pressure on the Soviets deep in their zone, and they're doing a fine job.
A loose puck. Anderson tried to feed it out front. Now it comes back to the point. Zettler winds up. It ricochets back to the point again. Another shot by Chapman. It goes wide. And a good body check in the corner, dished out there by Graves. Graves knocked the Soviet forward off the puck. He's been doing some good hitting as he moves into the corners. Now it's loose in the center ice area. Picked up again by Graves. Graves simply dumps it in, and going back after it is Zverev for the Soviets. Zverev loses it. Graves comes up with it. Graves trying to feed it in front, broken up by the Soviets. They break out. Pass on the wing for Boriskov. Boriskov is taken off the puck by Bisson, and Chapman takes over for Team Ontario. Playing it up along the boards, it slides into the center ice area. Team Ontario trying to break out of that neutral zone to go to the attack, but the Soviets doing a good job of back-checking. A long lead pass intended for Boriskov too far. This will produce an icing call against the Soviets.
Some great forechecking here done by Canada. Really aggressively skating, and they really applying a great deal of pressure on the puck, playing the man very well. Notice the contact here, knocks the fellow right off the puck with a good, clean body check. Canada's got a third man in a high position to give them some balance and some depth in that zone, and if they continue to apply this kind of pressure, Don, this is going to be very important in tonight's hockey game. An excellent shift there, very consistent forechecking.
Dave, let's take it a step further. What about the defensive strategy? You explained what they're trying to do offensively.
Well, defensively, they're just trying to keep on top of the Soviets and not get outnumbered going back into their zone, and so far Canada hasn't given out one outnumbered situation at this point, Don.
There's a backhand drive by Crisp. It just sailed wide. And the Canadian team knocking the Soviets off the puck at almost every opportunity in that offensive zone. Bisson takes the winger. Belichov in against the boards. And Team Ontario comes up with the puck. Crisp into the center ice area, feeding it ahead, intended for Drulia. Drulia had it taken away from him. It slides right to the goal mouth, and Davidoff had to clear that to the corner. Now, Team Ontario in possession again as Noble tried to feed it back to the point. Nobody in position, and going back into the center ice area is Vanille. Vanille loses it. Picking it up is Belichov for the Soviets. He gives it over to Osipov. Osipov couldn't go anywhere with it. Panfilinkov now moves in back at the goal, trying to move it out front. And at the side of the net, Rosati dives on that loose puck.
Don, this Tony Crisp is the son of Terry Crisp, who ex-National League with Philadelphia and now coaches the Sioux Greyhounds. And Tony's a fine little player. He's a real fireball. If you watch him on the bench, he's always talking and patting the guys on the back. And in a series like this, he'll bring this team together on his own because he's a real fireball kid.
Well, you had an opportunity to have a bit of a visit with him in the dressing room prior to the game.
He's a real outgoing guy, you know, and he's a great guy, a great team player, just like his dad was when he played with Philadelphia. Same kind of guy.
They take it to the boards and force a face-off to the right of Mike Rosati in goal for Team Ontario. 12:15 is the time remaining. The second game of this tour takes place at the Ottawa Civic Center on Sunday night at 7:30 as Team Ontario plays the Soviets again. It comes back to the point. They could not keep it in. A race for that loose puck. Pulled free. Fed in front, and Kane took that pass from Greenlaw, but could not get a shot away.
Don, we talked about Greenlaw's skating skills, and there it was. He won that race for the puck and made a great play across the front of the goal.
Fine play by Turcotte to Greenlaw. He fired it wide. It comes back to the point now to Joy. He slips it in back of the net. Greenlaw doing some forechecking, trying to poke it free. Oh, a great hit by Turcotte as he decked the Soviet player. Kelly Kane comes in as well to do some bumping. It's back of the goal. Now it's picked up by Andreev. Andreev for the Soviets. A lead pass to Alexushin. A long drive over top of the Canadian net. Back to the point as the Soviets try and keep it in, but Team Ontario breaks out. A lead pass intended for Turcotte too far, and Davidoff out of his net covers up and holds on. Well, by far the better scoring opportunities have been for Team Ontario.
Without a doubt, Don, they've really done an excellent job of playing the man so well. In the picture we see Murray Costello there and the Minister of Sport, Otto Jelinek, discussing the game. I'm sure they're very happy so far with the results. Territorially, Team Ontario has really controlled the play and certainly had some good scoring chances, as you talked about, Don.
One of the concerns of the Team Ontario coaching staff was the goaltending of Davidoff, and they were certainly justified in feeling a little concern.
He's a fine goalie.
And now Team Ontario pass and a great save as Loach took that relay from Smith and sliding across to make the stop, Davidoff.
What a great play by Wayne Smith. He comes off on the, he's on the off wing, a left shot playing the right wing. He comes in here, Don, and he does an excellent job of faking the shot to hold the goalie, throws it across, and that should have been in. It was a great save by that young goaltender, but a nice play by Wayne Smith. He held the goalie by bluffing the shot.
Now It's Fakeoff trying to come out of his own zone. Finally, he gets ahead to Fedorov, and Fedorov clears it. It's dumped back in offside by Team Ontario. But Davidoff has been the star of this game so far.
Don, that save he made there was a major league save. He had to respect the shooter because Wayne Smith was threatening to shoot. And then when he passed across, he had to get across that goal in a hurry, stack his pads, and make a great save. And obviously, he's a very fine goalie.
10:54 is the time remaining in this scoreless first period. Team Ontario has been very much in control so far. Long lead pass to Fakeoff. Fakeoff has knocked off the puck in the center ice area. And Team Ontario trying to move back in. Upset is Todd Gregory. The puck goes loose at center ice. Now the Soviets bring it in. As Sadskov lost it. It's dumped back up to center ice. And it's picked up by Fedorov. He shoots it into the Team Ontario zone. Bisson takes it back of his own net. Tries to play it up along the boards for Anderson. Anderson bumps in the corner with Fedorov, and there's a whistle on the play as they force that face-off in the corner.
This is a new, longer-lasting heart for your electronics. The improved Duracell battery, now with even longer life. Today's high-performance electronics take a lot out of your batteries, so we've loaded Duracell with extra life. Our new battery is the heart that goes right on beating. Improved Duracell, the copper-top battery. More heart, even longer life.
The Peace Flame at Nathan Phillips Square. May the warmth and brotherhood represented here be with you in this holiday season. Have a Merry Christmas.
Now, let's see how this is. Superb, if I do say so myself. Merry Christmas.
Don Whitman along with Dave King, the national team coach, and Vic Rauter at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the opening game of the Esso International Tour. A 10-game tour that will take this Soviet team to Ottawa, then to Quebec City, Montreal, Fredericton, Dartmouth, Regina, Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Calgary as they face various under 17 years of age teams across the country.
Don, I'm very impressed with the start so far. We've gone full 10 minutes now and really sustained the pressure, and that's been really a big part of this game so far. Normally, Canadian teams do start off quite well, but sustain that over a length of time is tough to do.
Ostapov tried to feed it across. It was broken up by Kane. Kane going in with Turcotte. Turcotte moving right in. He fired it wide. That's the second good scoring opportunity for team captain Darren Turcotte in this game.
Once again, Don, we won the race to the loose puck, out-muscled the fellow off the puck, and created a good two-on-one situation, and should have capitalized there.
Now the Soviets trying to move out of their own zone. Belichov loses it. Now the Soviets regroup. And Palenkov into the center ice area, having difficulty along the boards with Smith. It's poked away from him. And going back into his own zone to pick it up for the Soviets as Van Palenkov again.
John,
he still has it.
We've outfought them a great deal off the puck in that neutral zone tonight, and really had some good chances from some good close checking in that neutral zone.
Purvis for Smith. Smith feeds it out front to Lowe. Couldn't control it with Davidoff out of position.
We've got to capitalize, Don, pretty soon on these chances.
They have squandered a few scoring opportunities here through the first 13 minutes of this opening period. A race for that loose puck. Purvis taken in against the boards, and Elocution for the Soviets clears it. now in the neutral zone. Smith gets it back into his own zone for Zettler to Loach. As Team Canada, led by Purvis, goes to the attack. Purvis trying to move in, and coming back to take it away was Osipov. Now it's Andreev losing it. Picked up by Anderson. Anderson drops it back. Purvis with a shot. The deflection in front, and Davidoff went down to make the save with Smith looking for the rebound. The Soviets bring it back. Karagudov, he is knocked off the puck by Bisson, and it goes loose in behind the Canadian goal.
Don, we've outshot them 7-0 to this point in the hockey game, and our chances have been excellent scoring chances on the goal. We've really put a lot of pressure on Davidoff, and
as the young goaltender for the Soviets has responded so far. Some people, I'm sure, wondering about the age of these players. They are 16. Some will turn 17 before the tour concludes.
Here's a play by Smith. He dekes the goaltender, just loses the handle on the puck with the goalie out of the net. One of a few good chances we had there, Don. Canada's applying some pressure. It's very important right now that they're patient. Don't lose that poise. They've done a good job so far of applying pressure. If they just stay with their game plan, they're going to be fine here.
Now it's Graves in back of the net, trying to feed it out front. Gregory was tied up. Joy gets a chance. A glove save by Davidoff.
Don, I'm really impressed with the way that the Team Ontario is using the points. They've really, I think Dave Chambers has told them that the Soviets are collapsing deep to their net and giving them some room at the points, and they're utilizing the points very, very well. And of course, with all this play in their zone, the Soviets now taking a penalty, and we've now got a power play.
Aries Rostoks will be going off for the Soviets.
Just an outstanding period so far, Don. The team is really playing very well. Here's the replay right now with the puck at the point, with hanging on. Good poise here. There's the holding by number 3 in front of the net. He's got a real good grasp of the player, and certainly a good call by the referee.
Zettler at the point, trying to feed it in for Gregory. It was broken up and cleared by the Soviet. This is the one thing that Team Ontario, in the 3 days they have been together, has been working on, is the power play. Yeah,
Dave Chambers felt that if they got any power play opportunities, it was going to be very important to capitalize on. So they spent a fair bit of time trying to put together a good power play.
Graves to Gregory, and it slides out into the center ice area. There's a chance now as Lebedev tries to break away, but he is tied up and prevented from moving in across that Team Ontario blue line. Now going back after it is Mark LaForge over to Zettler as Team Ontario tries to set up with that man advantage with Rostoks in the penalty box. 1:12 the time remaining in the holding call.
John, the Soviets doing a pretty good job here of applying the pressure. They don't play very passively. They play very aggressively when they're a man short.
Joy moving in, getting into position, feeds it across. They bang away at it. They score finally.
John, I'm not sure it was in. I think it maybe hit the outside of the net. I think it's not a goal. I believe that the puck was outside the net, and it's not a goal. It'll be important now that Ontario reacts properly to this. If it wasn't in, they got to relax. They can't let it get them upset, and they've got to maintain their poise here. Here's this replay here, Don, of a hook. You notice we lose control. This is a chance on goal, I guess, Don. Nice play here. Hangs on the puck and then goes to the backside, right across there. We just missed the puck, and the goalie came across and made a nice save on that rebound. And I think the puck, Don, hits the outside here. It looks like it's in, but it's not. It's outside the net. A good call by the referee. Don, on that power play, we almost got caught with a hooking penalty there. And again, you just can't take those cheap penalties. We were very fortunate the referee did not see that.
Norm Ball, the referee, working this hockey game as Nikolai Kazakov looks on from the Soviet bench. And Chambers now, the coach of the Team Ontario group, makes a change as he sends out Purvis to play the point. It comes back to Purvis at the point, feeding it in to the corner to Crisp. As Team Ontario moves it around, a shot and the deflection as Joy had managed to move in from his point, and the puck was fed across to him. He just fired it wide. Now Purvis trips as he goes after that loose puck, picked up by the Soviets. They try and feed it across, but Purvis managed to get back, and with a good back-checking job, comes up with the puck, feeds it to Noble, and his shot just sails wide. Drulia is taken in against the boards by Zverev. The puck loose, as Noble now looking for someone to pass to. Plays it in back of the net to Druzlia, right out in front, and Davidov with another good save. As the Soviets, with 3 seconds remaining in the penalty, clear it into the neutral zone.
Excellent job by Drulia there, walking out from the side of the net. The defender played off, so Stan took the puck and walked right out and had a good chance on goal, Don.
Osipov lost it as he tried to move in across the Team Ontario line. Now it's Joy back in his own zone, feeding it across, and it's fired down the ice. This will produce an icing call. With 4:10 remaining in a scoreless first period, and the reason it is still scoreless, the work of Davidov in the Soviet net. He's played very well, Don, and of course we can see the Soviet bench. They all wear face masks, and over there they wear face masks right up through the junior age group as well. It's compulsory, and this is a very small team here. These face masks, I'm sure, make these guys feel a little bit more comfortable out there, and probably an excellent idea, the face mask, Don. Well, I think face masks for the first time will be worn by Team Canada players in the World Junior Championships coming up in Finland.
That's correct, Don.
In across the line, Alexushin with a shot, and the save by Rosati. Back to the line now, Rostoks with a shot, and Rosati steers that to the corner. The first good scoring opportunity for the Soviets. Rostoks with a shot and the deflection. It just went wide as Alexushin attempted to deflect it.
That was a good point, Don. There's no question that Mike hasn't had a lot of work in the goal there, and his first save was a big one, and he was right to the test.
LaForge flips it to an open wing. It's picked up by Greenlaw. Greenlaw in back of the goal. Still controlling it. Finally, it's taken away from him as the Soviets go to the attack. 3-on-2. Alexushin with a long shot, and it's gloved and held by Rosati.
Don, it's interesting to notice that the last couple of shifts now, we're getting a little, maybe too aggressive on our forecheck, and we've lost the depth with that third man, and the Soviets now have outnumbered us several times now going back into our zone, and we really can't afford to be outnumbered going back into our zone, because with the extra attacker, the Soviets are very potent.
Well, this game coming to you on Sports Weekend and from the 1985 World Junior Hockey Championships in Finland on CBC television. You'll see 2 of the games, Canada against the Soviet Union and Canada against Czechoslovakia. Now it's the Soviets to the attack. A long drive. It just went wide off the stick of Terekov. Bakov moving it out to Dervenchik. Here's a shot. Rosati with the save. They scramble. Loose puck. And it was just cleared in the nick of time.
Don, it's very important you sustain your play against the Soviets. You cannot afford to take a shift off.
Anderson in across the line as they attempted the return pass with Gregory looking for Anderson. And it was broken up by the Soviets. Cleared, and the Canadians to the attack again. Anderson with a drop pass to Graves. Graves spin it across for Anderson. He couldn't get a shot. Gregory with a shot now. It just goes wide. Bisson with a drive to save, and the rebound just out of the reach of Gregory. Loose puck in that Soviet zone along the boards. Terekov has lost his stick. Tried to kick it free. They got it out into the center ice area. Team Canada with Purvis back in across the line, and he was unable to work his way towards the net, and it's taken in against the boards and held by Fedorov for a face-off with 2:06 remaining in the first period.
Here's a close chance on Canada's net here, Don. We got a little sloppy, and the Soviets really do a good job of taking the puck and going across the zone to the backside. And Mike Rosati, I thought, was sharp and made a couple of good saves. And certainly, he's a good goaltender, and he looks like he's sharp. Here it comes, Don. It's in front here, and Mike's very alert. Tries to smother the puck, but misses it, and the Soviet had an open net. Previous to that, Don, he made a nice save off the backside.
Loach with a shot that just went wide. At the side of the net, Smith was spun around, and the Soviets bring it out again.
Don, you talked about our strength earlier in the hockey game, and you were right on.
Sadskov scoring for the Soviets. Dmitry Sadskov in across the line with a low shot, and that low shot to the glove side beats Mike Rosati. And it's 1-0 for the Soviets.
That was a good shot, Don. The fellow comes in here. We give him the blue line. We backed off and didn't hold the blue line. Takes the puck to the middle. And gets a good quick release away, and it's really low to Mike's left side and just sneaks inside the post under his place shot, Don.
18-12, the time of the goal by Satska. Unassisted tally. And a Delayed offside.
I think, Don, that Canada just got to maintain their poise here, and they've carried most of the play. Here's the Soviet carrying the puck down the right side. The defense backs off the blue. He reads that, takes the puck to the middle, and a great quick shot, right in stride, Don, and that's one thing they do very well. They shoot the puck in stride so well.
Now Noble trying to feed it in front for Crisp. It goes in behind the net. Drulia is taken out of the play as the Soviets play it around to the other side. Balatov trying to reverse things and get it out up the right-hand boards. Kept in. Here's a chance for Noble. Across, and it's fired wide by Crisp, as Noble did a great job of feeding it in front, and Crisp fired it wide with the open net in front of him.
Canada's had some great chances, Don, and if they're patient, they'll be all right. They've really generated some good scoring chances. They're moving the puck very well and making some very intelligent plays in the offensive zone.
Zettler at the point was able to keep it in, but now the Soviets break out. On the right side, Boriskov, he's knocked over by Zettler, and Noble takes it back of his own goal.
John, you can really see a guy like Zettler, who plays in the Ontario Hockey League, plays in a very excellent league with very tough hockey. He's very competent body checker, and certainly the Sioux Greyhounds have got a fine player in him.
Into the center ice area. And as Gregory tried to feed it ahead for Kane, he was upset, and it's dumped back into the Team Ontario zone with just 10 seconds remaining here in the opening period. Here's a chance now for Kane with Greenlaw. Kane shoots, and Davidoff makes the save as Greenlaw was unable to reach that rebound. And the Soviet Union will go to the dressing room with a 1-0 lead through a first period that was dominated by Team Ontario.
Well, I think Ontario played a fine period of hockey, and they should not be discouraged by the 1-0 score. They played very well. They had most of the good chances, and the Soviets had 1 or 2 good chances and happened to capitalize on the one. But I think that the Ontario team has really controlled the puck nicely in the offensive zone. They used the points very well, and of course, we talked about that line of Greenlaw, Turcotte, and Kane being very important, and they certainly have played very well.
Well, at the end of the first period, the Soviet Union leads Team Ontario by a score of 1-0.
Open up your eyes to Canada's #1 video network, CBC Television. The beat goes on every weekday when Samantha Taylor has all the hottest sights and sounds from the rock and roll revolution on video hits. Then join the crowd Thursdays and Fridays for some good rockin' tonight. Terry David Mulligan puts you in touch with the stars and their music. Keep your eyes on CBC Television for the best in music, video hits, and good rockin' tonight.
This season, if you're not already hooked on the Beachcombers,
we'll give you all the help we can.
It's an explosive new season, and there's nothing like your old favorites.
No, there sure isn't, Constable John.
The Beachcombers, Sunday night on CBC Television.
Guess what?
Michael Jackson's in town?
Seriously?
Hanging In's back for a new season?
Yeah.
Hanging In, Monday night. From the 1984 Stratford Festival, CBC Television presents the smash hit production Iolanthe. Witty, charming, high-stepping, good fun this holiday season when Maureen Forrester stars in Iolanthe, Sunday, December 30th. Special programming on CBC Television.
Yesterday's Olympic and World Championship heroes are today's professional skaters, and CBC covers all the glamour and spectacle of the World Professional Figure Skating Championships. Catch the world's best in this 90-minute extravaganza, a CBC Sports Special Friday, December 28th, 7:30 across the nation, 8 in Newfoundland. One of the new professional skaters is Norbert Schramm, 3-time European champion from West Germany. Schramm was one of the most unique stylists that the world of skating has ever seen. And we'll have a look at him in a special preview of the World Championships. That's to come a little later on today on Sports Weekend. And it marks the beginning of the National Football League today as well. There are playoffs that seem to go on forever. The AFC wildcard teams will start post-season action this afternoon a little later, and we'll keep you up to date when the game gets underway in Seattle between the Seahawks and the LA Raiders. All the NHL games are scheduled for this evening. A key matchup, of course, is in Alberta, the Edmonton-Calgary game. And we'll see how Wayne Gretzky does after being held scoreless last night for only the third time in this season. But right now, let's go back to Maple Leaf Gardens for more midget hockey action.
Thank you very much, Ted. The USSR leads Team Ontario 1-0, but it was a period that really belonged to Ontario as they outshot the Soviets 14-5, but they missed some wide-open nets, and there was some great goaltending by Rashid Davidov. It's not hard to be confused by all the international hockey right now, but the big tournament is going on in Finland. Our Team Canada Juniors hoping to bring back a title. The year is 1982. The place, Rochester, Minnesota. Canada wins the World Junior Hockey Championship under head coach Dave King. Now, the 1985 version of Team Canada gets ready to face the world's best. 44 players from across the country were invited to camp, but only 20 would make the trip to Helsinki, Finland, and the World Junior Tournament. One of those going is left-winger Jeff Jackson, a member of the Hamilton Steelhawks, but who started the year with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Definitely the styles are different, and you can't get caught out of the play too much. There's a lot of clutch and grab in the NHL, more so than in the European style hockey, which is more the free flow type of game, and I think that's the big difference. There's not as much grabbing.
Team Canada is definitely strong at center ice, led by Adam Creighton on loan from the Buffalo Sabres. He was the 11th overall pick in the 1983 amateur draft. Also at center ice is another future Maple Leaf, Dan Hodgson, out of the Prince Albert Raiders. He has that scoring touch, and they'll definitely need it in Finland.
You know, the Europeans are very fast, they're slick, and they don't like the hitting game very much, and you got to stay away from penalties and stuff like that. And you know, you got to be prepared mentally and physically.
And Team Canada isn't without its tough wingers, such as Hamilton's Shane Corson, who is expected to do a lot of the digging. Corson has been drafted by the Montreal Canadiens. Putting it all together is head coach Terry Simpson from Prince Albert, who watched this one from the stands while his assistant, Ron Lapointe, handled the bench. Lapointe, a coach with Shawinigan of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League.
Bobby, holding some all right? Good. These guys are up.
Like, let's not be rimming the puck around the wall if the pass is there. Like, if we can make the pass to the guy, like, that's why we want the wingers to stay on the hash marks. And let's not be rimming the puck, like, you know, unless you have to. The only time you should be throwing that puck around the wall if it's a desperation play.
Competition level is very, very good. Like, it's not the matter right now of going over to, say, to beat Russia or Czechoslovakia. You've got Finland, Sweden, the USA are all good hockey clubs, and that's where the misconception lies.
And Team Canada will open the World Junior Tournament against Sweden tomorrow in Helsinki. It has been 3 long years since that memorable win in Minnesota, and Team Canada has its sights set on another World Junior Hockey Championship.
And Dave King, let's hope that Team Canada in Helsinki can duplicate the performance of Team Canada in 1982 when you won that gold medal.
I'll tell you, Don, that would be just great for Canada. They've got a very fine team this year. I watched the training camp, and I'm certainly, I'm really believe that the staff's done a good job of bringing the right players to Finland, and hopefully they can do the job over there for us.
Well, this Team Ontario aggregation under Dave Chambers certainly did a job in the first period, outshooting the Soviets 14-5. They had many good scoring opportunities. Once a coach, always a coach, I guess. You got pretty excited during that opening 20 minutes.
I was very excited, Don. I thought they played great. I thought it was an excellent period of hockey. We played the man so well and forechecked very well. This play right here, you see that we come in and play the man off the puck here very well. We jump on that loose puck. Drives wide with the puck, makes a nice little drop pass here, which is great communication. And of course, here's the key to the play. We control the front of the net and screen the goaltender. The shot comes through, and the goalie, Davidov, as you suggested, Don, played very well that period and made a nice save. But Canada, I thought, played the man well, and any confrontation involving strength, we won. And that's an important part of tonight's game. Here's the Soviets coming down the ice now, and we back off the blue line, and the big tall fella here, he tries to drive wide, sees it's cut off, cuts to the middle, and shoots a puck right in stride here and kind of catches Mike Rossetti kind of back in the net. And it's a great shot right low to the corner, and a very nice play by the Soviets. Once again, Mike didn't get a lot of work, and it's very difficult for a goaltender to sometimes stay sharp when you get very few shots like that.
Sadiskov coming up with the goal for the Soviets. It's 1-0 for the Soviets over Team Ontario after 20 minutes. Right now, let's rejoin Vic Rauter.
Thank you, Don. Some very exciting hockey, excellent hockey when you consider the age of these two teams. All 16-year-olds on Team Ontario and 15-year-olds of the Soviets. First of 10 games in the next 28 days, let's fill you in on where the Russian midgets are going to appear. Their next game for Team Ontario with the Soviets is December 23rd in Ottawa. Then they move on to play Team Quebec the 26th, Boxing Day at the Colisée in Quebec City. And then the Montreal Forum December the 28th, again against Team Quebec. Then they move on to play the Atlantic team, December the 30th in Fredericton, and then January 1st, New Year's Day in Dartmouth. Then it's out to West, the Regina, the Agrodome, January 3rd for the Western team made up of players from Manitoba and Saskatchewan, once again against the West in Winnipeg, January the 4th, and then Team Pacific made up of players from Alberta and British Columbia, the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, January the 6th, and the Olympic Saddle Dome, January the 8th. And here's the only goal. The shots are all Team Ontario, 14-5, but a late goal by Dmitry Sedevaskov at 18-12 gives the Soviets a 1-0 lead, and you have to wonder, don't the Soviets have any bad goalies? Tretiak, Mishkin, and Davidoff, they are terrific. Coming up, the start of the second period, let's now join Don Whitman and Dave King.
1-0, the Soviet Union leads Team Ontario after 20 minutes. And Dave King, I thought you made an interesting comment between periods. As so often happens at almost any level of play against the Soviets, you might control play, but they seem to get the goals.
Yeah, it's very important in those situations, Don, that you maintain your poise and just stay with your game plan and not let the frustration get to you, because that frustration could cause you to start to stray from your game plan and make some mistakes. And I think that Dave Chambers is a very good coach with lots of international experience, and I'm sure he's going to get the guys playing the game he wants them to play.
Dave Chambers, who coaches at York University, directing Team Ontario in the opening game of this SO International Tour. It carries on for Game 2 Sunday night in Ottawa. Team Ontario again playing the Soviets. A loose puck in the Canadian zone, and Turcotte moves it out. Here's Greenlaw breaking in with Kane. 2-on-1. Greenlaw with a shot.
Don, it was a great shot. He got the good lumber on the puck, and it's a good shot right off the goal post. An excellent 2-on-1. Darren Turcotte started it off by riding a check and popping the puck ahead to Greenlaw. A very nice play.
Greenlaw in across the line again with Kane. To Kane, and he couldn't quite reach it.
Once again, Jeff Greenlaw off the wing, Don. He's got great speed, and he did an excellent job of going to the net.
Fakeoff across the line. He has it poked away from him, gets it back again to the point. Here's a shot by Kozlov. It goes wide. Racing in from the other point is Klopso. Klopso plays it around the boards. It comes back to the line to Kozlov. His shot broken up. Team Ontario's Turcotte unable to go anywhere with it. Kozlov with another shot blocked in front. Dropping in front of it was LaForge. The puck is loose at the side of the net. Rosati way out of there to poke it to the line, but not out. Kept in by the Soviets. The Soviets controlling. Fetisov with a shot. And the save is made by Rosati. In back of the Team Ontario goal, Settler, surfing in the corner, decides to go the other way now.
John, the Soviets have really settled down. They look like they got a bit more poise now, and they a little more confidence in their game. So this next little while will be very important for Canada.
And now it's the Soviets who are becoming more aggressive physically as the puck goes loose in the Canadian zone, and it's picked up by Greenlaw. Greenlaw starts out. Greenlaw with a great scoring opportunity earlier. He fires this one from just inside the line wide. Now the Soviets to the attack again. Dervenchik has it poked away from him. Feeds it out into the neutral zone, and it's fired into the Soviet zone. Anderson racing in there after it, along with Klopsov. It goes loose. Gregory right out of front.
Nice play here by Canada. We out-fought him off the puck here behind the net. A nice job of playing the man. Support man comes in and gets the puck, walks around in front, good shot, and there we are in great rebound position. 21, put the puck in.
Graves coming up with the goal on the rebound.
There's the crease of the loose puck by good aggressive forechecking. Walk around in front, tries to shoot on goal. There's the rebound, and he goes upstairs over top of Davidov. A very nice goal for Canada.
Puck comes back to the line as it bounced over the stick of Graves as this unit went to the attack again for Team Ontario. Now Now it's Graves working in. Unable to get a backhand shot away as he is tied up. Anderson gets it, feeds it in back of the net. Gregory trying to slide it out front, and it was cleared by the Soviets. Now the Soviets with a dangerous pass right across ice in front of their own net. And fortunately for the Soviets, no Team Ontario player was in position to intercept.
I think it's very important, Don, for Canada to try to take the puck deep in the Soviet zone rather than taking those long shots. Take the puck deep because we can control the corners of their end of the rink without much trouble.
Ahead for Smith in across the line. He was spun around, tried to get it over to Purvis. It goes loose in the corner. Loach is upset, and the Soviets break out. The Soviets with Lebedev. Moving in across the line, a drop pass for Filatov. Filatov couldn't do anything with it, and Purvis brings it back. He feeds it ahead to Loach. Loach breaking in, backhand shot. Davidov with the save. And it's cleared off the boards into the center ice area. Racing after it is Melchikov. Melchikov is taken in against the boards by Bisson. And early in this period, the Soviets were doing most of the hitting. Now Team Canada, inspired, I'm sure, by that goal by Graves, doing some heavy bumping of their own.
Keep rotating the defense. Okay, good work. Hey, let's just bear down a little bit more in our own zone, eh? A little bit. Kelly, you got to stay on that right side. So you got to really work on your You got to really work on your play in our zone. Concentrate. You're playing that right side, okay? Yeah, I know. But just.
John, I think Dave is really putting home some good points here about their own zone, looking after their own end of the rink before they start getting a little too careless in that zone. And it's really important that Canada does play a good job in their own zone.
I think what Dave is probably concerned about, they had so many good scoring opportunities in the first period. They score! A shot from just inside the blue line. And they move in front by a score of 2-1.
That was a nice shot, Don, but, normally those kind of shots shouldn't go in. He was fairly wide going into the offensive zone, but a nice shot. He got it away and over Davidov's glove, I believe, here. We're going to see it right now, Don, the wide pass.
Noble firing the blast from just inside the line.
Excellent shot up high over the glove. Davidov went down early, and that was his mistake. He was down on his knees rather early on the shot, Don. That shot was taken from a very wide angle, but again, once in a while those will go in.
Jeff Noble, who plays for the Kitchener Green Shirts, getting the go-ahead goal for back loose in the center ice zone. A long shot by Kozlov, deflected to the corner. Joy takes it in against the boards, kicks it free, tries to go around the other side, having some difficulties there with Alex Zushin. Then ahead to Kelly Kane. Kane, a long lead pass. Turcotte trying to get there, and the Soviet player just managed to win the race for that loose puck. Now it's brought in again by Kane. For Turcotte, a deflection. And Davidov got a piece of it. Loose puck in the corner. It comes back to the line, and Alex Zushin brings it out for the Soviets. Broken up in the Team Ontario zone and dumped back down the ice. Here's Turcotte across the line. A shot. It just went wide. Kept in at the point of deflection as Turcotte was in front, and Laniel took the blast, and it sailed over top of the net and ricocheted off the glass in behind the Soviet goal.
Boy, Don, that Darren Turcotte, the puck just seems to follow him around, and he did an excellent job there of making some nice plays to the point and then getting in front of the net.
There's another chance as Anderson came racing in. The Soviet goaltender Davidov was out of position, but covering up was Rostock's in front of the net.
Great save by Davidov. He's very, very quick. He's in a deep crouch, and he's really always very alert. Here comes the play out here, Don. Again, we outfought him off the puck along the boards, which has been our forte tonight. Good quick release, and what a save. He's right there. And look how quickly he's back up again, Don, for the second save. He played very well there, and he's a very quick goaltender, very much like a Tretiak. He's down deep in his crouch and a very alert goaltender.
Anderson with a shot. It just goes wide.
Interesting that, Don, we've won a lot of face-offs tonight. We've won almost all the face-offs, and that's a very important stat in the course of a hockey game.
Puck cleared down the ice. Going back after it is Chapman. Chapman circling behind his own net. Up into the center ice area for Purvis. Purvis with Gregory. He dumps it in. Going back at the goal is Terakov. Terakov bumping in the corner. Purvis comes up with that puck. He's taken in against the boards, tried to feed it back to the point, and it was picked off by Fedorov. Fedorov gets it to Terakov. Terakov in across the line, and the shot bounces off the leg. A loose puck in the Team Ontario zone. Now a lead pass for Gregory. Gregory across the line. Slap shot. It just goes wide.
Once again, Don, we got to remember the Soviets on another 2-on-1, and if they keep giving us those kind of 2-on-1s, I'm sure we'll score again.
Gregory backhands it in as Team Ontario makes a change. Good hit by Smith. The loose puck and the save by Davidoff as the shot was taken from the sharp angle. Now it's Chapman working to the corner. Chapman for Purvis. Purvis having difficulties back at the net as he is tied up by Fedorov. It comes back to the point, and Chapman was unable to keep it in. Chapman circling, leaving it there for Smith. Smith over on the far side. It was offside, intended for Loach. 13:22, the time remaining in the second period. Team Ontario leading by a 2-1 margin.
Don, it's really interesting to watch these two teams play. Like one of the fortes of the Canadian game is the play along the boards in the corners, and of course with our smaller rink and the pressure game we play, our players usually develop very quickly in that aspect of the game, and it's very clear here that Canada really does handle the boards very well and have won most of those confrontations.
Now it's Purvis in the corner along with Smith. It's loose, and Filatov clears it up along the boards, but not out. Zettler keeps it in. He gets the return pass. It's on his goal!
A beautiful goal, Don. An excellent give and go play from Zettler back into the corner. Gets a return pass and puts it in. It was a very nice play. We'll get a look at that here, Don, again, and it was a super play by Canada. Great puck control. Zettler pinches down, gives to the man, and gets a return pass on a give and go and puts it between the goaltender's legs. An excellent play by Zettler. Once again, there's the pinch down, the give and go low, nice return pass, and a good one-time shot here. Excellent goal by Canada. That's going to really help us. Now we've got a 2-goal lead. That's going to help the guys settle down, I think, Don.
Well, the Team Ontario combination of Loach and Zettler worked that give and go to perfection. And something that Coach Dave Chambers had cautioned the defensemen not to pinch in unless they were absolutely sure. Zettler was absolutely sure that time.
That was a good pinch, Don. He read it very well. There was no one coming by him in the middle, and it was an excellent time to pinch, and a good read by the defenseman.
Now the Soviets, Panfilenkov feeding it in front, and a good save by Rosati. Loose puck in the Team Ontario zone as Velchikov tried to get it back to the point. However, it's pulled free, a race for the loose puck. Drulia is beaten to the puck by the Soviet player. Now Laniel backhands it deep into the Soviet zone. Provo in behind the net for Drulia. Drulia looking for Crisp out front. It's cleared by Davidoff. Back at the net again. Team Ontario feeding it in front. Through the line now. Laniel takes a shot. It's just wide, and there were two Team Ontario players uncovered in front of that Soviet goal.
We've used the points well done and controlled the front of the net, and certainly if the Soviets don't take away the points on us, we'll get some more from the point.
Now in across the line, Velchikov is taken in against the boards by Noble as he had difficulty controlling it. Joy races up along the boards for Drulia into the center ice area. He couldn't advance with it. It's pulled free back into the Soviet zone. Good pace in this hockey game through the first period and 9 minutes of the second.
It's been excellent. On the tempo of this game has just been super. These teams are really skating very well and really providing some good entertainment here for us all.
Kelly Kane moving in, trying to feed it across the Greenlaw, and it was broken up as Panfilenkov had moved back to intercept that pass. Good hit as Kane is decked by Klopso, the Soviet defenseman. Now into the center ice area, the Soviets break out. Osipov dropping it back for Klopsov. There's a backhand shot that is just directed wide as Rosati had made the initial save and was down. And the Soviet player, Velchikov, deflected it wide. Kane with a breakaway, moving in, he scores!
Don, that's a very interesting goal there. Normally, like what happens a lot of times is in North American hockey against European teams is we get a great chance on their goal, and they come back and score, and we reverse the whole thing right there. The Soviets 25 walked in on Mike Rossetti, had a good play on goal, and we break right down here for a scoring chance. Nice pass across by Greenlaw, and Kane puts it between his legs. An excellent shot. He had his head up, and he was really looking where he was putting it. Nice pass here, Don. Right up the middle, split the seam, and look at his head. His head is right up. The puck in a shooting position. He can shoot or deke. Decides to shoot between his legs, and it's there. Again, Don, it's nice to watch the kids really come back from a chance on our goal and go right down and score on them. That's going to certainly take a little starch out of the Soviets here.
Well, I'm sure, too, Dave, that all the viewers looking in this afternoon will excuse you for your use of the word we on occasion. As Team Canada coach, you can't be faulted for saying we in reference to the performance by Team Ontario. As a matter of fact, some of these fellas may be on your team in 1988.
On the way they're playing, I sure hope they are. They're just playing a great game today.
Lead pass for Andreev, too far for him. The Ford goes back into his own zone. He pokes it up along the boards for Zettler, and as they touch it, icing is charged against the Soviets.
This is a very important part of the game here, Don. Canada's playing very well. They're getting some good scoring chances now, but they still can't start to force too much in that offensive zone. They're getting three guys caught a little deep here. It's very important that they, you want to keep that enthusiasm going, but you can't let it get to you too far, and you can't lose that idea of trying to maintain some good, solid defensive play as well.
Period 2 of this opening game of the Esso International Tour. A strong second period by Team Ontario. 4 goals as they have moved in front 4-1. The Neal with a shot, the save by Davidoff. Smith goes to the corner for Loach. He's knocked down, and back come the Soviets, led by Fakeoff. Fakeoff into the center ice area for Terekov. Across the line, working to the corner. The Neal takes him off the puck. The Neal still has it as he moves it up along the boards for Loach, and Loach clears it for Team Ontario.
Canada really doing a very good job in their own zone there, Don. Really consistent along the boards, and Neal made a nice play out of his own into the rink. Really showed some good poise with the puck.
Fakeoff feeding it back now to Rostox. Rostox, a lead pass for Dervenchik. Dervenchik trying to split the defense. He was knocked off the puck. Purvis comes in to dish out a good body check, and apparently it wasn't all that good as there is going to be a penalty.
Really, Don, Canada can't afford to take those kind of penalties. It's really important that they show some discipline and not take those cheap penalties.
So with 9:27 remaining in the second period and Team Canada leading 4-1, the Soviets will have a power play.
Designing a better service station isn't child's play. You've told us you want stations with quick and easy access, and signs you can read at a glance, where you can move around easily, whatever the weather. Clean, uncluttered stations, well lit at night, where service is everything it's supposed to be. At Esso, we're designing better service stations because that's what you want. Because of you, we're getting better.
The guys who wear this sweater hate me. That's what involvement does for you. How about you getting involved with Big Brothers? Thousands of youngsters need a positive male influence in their lives, and there just aren't enough Big Brothers. So get involved. Win a boy's respect by being his friend. Call Big Brothers today. Tell them the Eagle sent you. They may not like me, but they'll be happy to hear from you.
Join the CBC's Peter Mansbridge and David Halton for an exclusive interview with the leader of the Liberal Party, a conversation with John Turner, Sunday.
This delightful book, Airfare, is full of unusual and imaginative recipes from over 40 favorite CBC stars. Wayne and Schuster, Betty Kennedy, Clyde Gilmore, Tommy Hunter, and me. There's lots of interesting personal stuff in here, too. Airfare. Buy it for Christmas.
Here's that penalty, Don. We take the man off the puck here pretty well. Again, a pretty good check. Stick was down, but we hang on and interfere with 23 right here when he's away from the puck. And number 7, certainly, he was picked up there, and it was a good call by the referee.
The Neal, who plays with the Toronto Red Wing Midgets, guilty of that infraction. A blast from the point. Did not get through, and Chris clears it to the center ice area. Soviets with the man advantage. Klapso feeds it in to Boriskov as the Soviets try to set it up. Here's a shot and the save by Rosati as Terakov from the circle let that drive go. A loose puck in the Team Ontario zone. Picked up by Team Ontario along the boards, having difficulties, however, getting it out of there. Chris circles back into his own zone, plays it over on the boards, and finally it's cleared to center ice as Settler drove it out. Team Ontario now doing a good job of killing off this penalty.
Yes, they are, Don. The only time we get in trouble is when we play off too much, Don, and decide to sag off the puck and not put pressure on it. When Canada's put pressure on the Soviets, they've thrown the puck away. So I think the more aggressive approach to penalty killing may be something that Dave Chambers is going to keep going with throughout this hockey game.
Peikov moving in across the line for the Soviets to Dervenchik. Dervenchik working to the corner, back to Peikov. Peikov over to Kozlov. Back into the corner. Picked up there by Chapman for Team Ontario, and he clears it with 31 seconds.
Just an excellent job again, Don. The defensemen are doing a very good job here of reading when to force and when to play off, and their decisions have been very good so far.
Chapman from the point, he lets a shot go that bounces off a skate to the corner. It comes back to the point now to Joy. Joy moving in with just 12 seconds remaining in the penalty. And Team Canada is controlling it now in the Soviet zone as Anderson races in from the point. And in 4 seconds, this penalty will be over. Lebedev moving it ahead to Dervenchik. Dervenchik in the center ice area, knocked off the puck. And with the penalty over, it's fired back into the Soviet zone by Team Ontario. Peikov now trying to move out against Kane. Kane scored a breakaway goal. The Soviet player goes down. Kane got it again and then had it hooked away by a sprawling Peikov.
Once again, Don, we might have got nailed with a penalty there. We're getting a little careless with our checking skills, and sometimes, you know, when you get a little bit tired late in the shift, you got to be very careful. You don't start to take those penalties like that.
Greenlaw with Turcotte. They score! Greenlaw putting in the backhand, and it's 5-1.
Yeah, Jeff Greenlaw really comes off the wing. He's a very powerful skater, this fellow, and he drives off that wing, protects the puck very well, sets a really good wall between himself and the defender, and then he goes to the net. Nice pass here, drives, sets a great wall here, Don, gets the puck away from his body, fights off the check, through the legs. An excellent goal by Jeff Greenlaw, and we talked about that before the game started. That's one of his strengths. He really goes to the net well here. Classic example here is protecting the puck very well. Nice move, good finesse at the very end. And that's one of Jeff's real good strengths. He's a strong fellow, and he's also got some good finesse.
So Team Ontario has totally dominated here in the second. They had many good scoring opportunities in the first, but they were foiled by Davidoff. A good hit there by Mike LaForge on the Soviet player Osipov, and Osipov is limping off to that Soviet bench. At the moment, the Soviets playing a man short as Osipov has now just made it. And now the Soviets have the 5 skaters out there as they break in across the line. It's Vanpolenkov trying to drop it off. It comes back to the line. A shot and the save by Rosati. Loose puck. And Rosati has it put back into his pads as he manages to cover up as Zettler alertly dropped it back to the goaltender.
Way to work, guys. Way to work, guys. Okay, Tony, you're up. Tony. Tony. Jeff. Stan, you guys are up. Make sure we got one guy high all the time now. Hey, one guy's high in the offensive zone.
Perhaps, Dave, you could explain what Dave means saying one man high.
Well, Canada right now, when they're forechecking, Team Ontario is getting caught with 3 people pretty deep, and so the Soviets are outnumbering us going back into our zone, and Dave's trying to make sure that there's a third forward high in the offensive zone so that coming back, we're at least 3-on-3 coming back into our zone, and that's so important against the European teams, and that point Dave's making is really a crucial point.
Coach fires it in. Davidoff plays it into the corner, and it's dumped down the ice by Terakov. Rosati well out of his net to play the puck along the boards to Bisson. Bisson unable to get it out as it's kept in by Andreev. It goes to the corner. Alex Zushin from the corner, playing it back to the point now. Klapsov puts it in behind the net. Bisson tries to move it up along the right wing boards. Purvis is there. He's having problems, however, getting it out. He's muscled off the puck. Here's a chance for the Soviets, and Peregudov had difficulty controlling it. He goes to the corner, and the penalty is upcoming against Team Ontario.
Don, you can really see the Soviets do handle a puck very, very well. Their skills of this team are very good. Their strength is a real sore point with them. They're not very strong on the puck, but their passing skills and their individual puck control skills are really very, very good. And Canada's got to maintain respect for them and not start to get too careless in our own zone here. Here's the penalty here. Takes the man out rather aggressively. Elbows a little high, and certainly a good call by the referee.
Brian Chapman, who plays for the Brockville Junior A Braves, is in the penalty box. Soviets with their second power play here in the second period. They trail by a score of 5-1 with 5:09 remaining in the period. Now the Soviets with Kozlov. A long shot, it deflects wide. In back of the Team Ontario goal, it's Settler beating it ahead, and Drulia helps the puck continue down the ice into the Soviet zone.
Canada's penalty killing has been a big factor in this game, Don. They've done an excellent job of applying pressure, and the Soviets have turned the puck over, and once again, we're shorthanded by controlling the play here.
Drulia takes it in against the boards. Finally, the Soviet player Derbenchik comes in to help out as the Soviets now break out. Fedorov working in across the line. He has Fakeoff with him. Fedorov working to the net, takes the shot as he showed a good burst of speed from the edge of the circle in driving to the goal, and Rosati stood his ground on the short side.
Excellent acceleration, and of course he's on his off wing now, so the puck's on the inside. He's got a good shooting angle, and you're right, Rosati really stood his ground, stayed on his feet, and made the save look rather easy when it was a very difficult save to make.
Two-line pass by Team Ontario producing the whistle. And we might also point out that each member of the 5 Canadian regional under-17 teams participating in the ESSO International Tour will receive a specially designed Program of Excellence Gold Medallion. And that's the medallion that will be presented on this tour. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty to Chapman. In across the line, Alekhushin is upset, and it's dumped down the ice again by Team Ontario. They lead it 5-1.
Once again, the referee was being very kind to us there, Don. We almost took a penalty, and again, we've got to be careful here and not start to reach with that stick too much. Play the man, because that was working very well for us the first part of this hockey game.
Lebedev in across the line, having difficulty controlling it. Penalty coming up against the Soviets. I think it'll be Lebedev going off, and as the puck is touched by the Soviets, the whistle goes. The delayed penalty call against the Soviets, and Lebedev is going to the box.
An excellent call. He really used his stick there and was quite aggressive with it, and certainly he's going to pay the price here. Right there he is, the great slash right there, and he reaches over top again. Kind of a cross stick and then another high stick. So it was a good call by the referee, and certainly the Soviets are the same as we are. They can get frustrated too, Don.
Well, this Soviet team today complaining a little about the long flight. They flew to Rome, and then from Rome to Montreal on to Toronto, and the time difference, they say, is affecting the performance of the team, and they were tired when they arrived at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight.
I think your point's well taken, Don. That's a pretty tough trip for those kids, and it'll take them a little while to overcome that jet lag.
Garth Joy back into his own zone in 10 seconds. Team Ontario will have the man advantage. Joy in across the line, cutting for the goal, and Joy knocked off the puck, manages to feed it back as he got it again, and Team Ontario now has the power play. Here's Turcotte, and he fired that off the side of the net. The team captain has had a number of good scoring opportunities in this game.
Darren Turcotte is one of those players where the puck follows him around. He makes great plays with the puck. His head is always up. And certainly he's got some great skills, and I'm sure, Don, before the night's over, he'll put a couple in for us here.
Vodovskov, who has scored the lone goal for the Soviets, loses it. It comes out front to Kane. Kane for Turcotte. To Greenlaw, and his backhand shot broken up by the Soviets. Now it's Joy firing into the corner.
Nice job of puck control here, Don. Good support by the people away from the puck carrier, really helping him out, and an excellent power play.
Kane tried to feed it back to the line, broken up by the Soviets. They're having difficulty getting out of their own zone. Finally, they clear it.
Canada's done a very nice job here, Don. We've got some good skills, and our puck control in the offensive zone really has been very sound tonight. We've not thrown the puck away. Kelly there kind of forced the play, and it did cause a turnover, but when we've been patient, we've made some good plays with the puck.
A long lead pass by Team Ontario too far, with Rostock's touching it. The icing call against Team Ontario.
This is a great experience for the Soviet team, you know, for these young players to be over here and to play a different style of hockey. You can see he's using his notebook a great deal, making lots of notes like they all do, and certainly it'll be a good experience for these young players and their young coach to see some North American hockey at this age group.
At the Olympics or an international competition, did you ever manage to sneak a peek at what they're writing in those books?
I've seen some of their books, Don, but I can't read what they said, but they write a lot of things down. I'm not sure what they're always writing, but it's very common now. A lot of North American coaches do a lot of writing and take some notes, and it's a good idea because in the course of a game, you can forget some very important things.
Well, you live in the city with the national team where the head coach of the NHL club, Bob Johnson of the Calgary Flames, constantly is making notes behind that Calgary Flame bench.
Yeah, it's very common now in the National League for coaches to do that. It's a good idea, Don.
Soviets now with Fakeoff controlling it in the corner. Fakeoff dodged the check as LaForge tried to move in on him. And there are just 5 seconds remaining in this power play opportunity as Canada breaks out. 3-on-2. Drulia moving in at the side of the net, and it deflected off Chris skate. Almost went past Davidoff. Back to the point now. Zettler with a shot. The deflection, and Davidoff grabs the puck as Noble came cutting in, and then Faceoff took a run at him.
Don, we have to try to avoid this kind of thing because the Soviets will try to get you off your game a little bit. They'll provoke you and then allow you to take the extra penalty. So Canada's got to be poised here and not let this kind of thing really get to them. Excellent shot from the point here. Again, we've really controlled the front of the net, and a nice save by the goaltender. He goes down a little early for my liking, but he's quick and he's got a good glove hand there, Don.
I think Noble, going for the net, was attempting to avoid the goaltender, and in that collision, number 36, Fakeoff, took exception and went after him. Penalties called with 1:26 remaining in the second period.
Don, it's
5-1 is the score. Team Ontario leading the Soviet Union. It was 1-0 after 20 minutes, but 5 unanswered goals here in the second period by Team Ontario, and they have definitely controlled this hockey game. They had many good scoring opportunities in the first period, but Davidoff was very sharp. Anderson bumped off the puck. Gregory tries to feed it out front, and the Soviets gain control. Unable to clear. Chapman with a shot, and it slides wide. Now, Team Ontario, as it's fed in front, and the Soviets break it up, and they come back like by Alex Zushin. Alex Zushin is upset in the corner by Chapman. Chapman flipping it up along the boards. Some good hitting as Tarakov moved in. Now, Team Ontario at drive, and the save as Graves let that blast go from the circle with 32 seconds remaining.
Once again, an excellent 2-on-1 by Canada. We had the puck on the off wing. The guy was on his forehand side, and really a good shot here. Here's the 2-on-1. He takes the shot, which is a good play because the defense is playing off and playing in the middle. An excellent shot and a good save. Canada jumped on the rebound, but a little too late. But a nice play by Canada. We've done an excellent job on those 2-on-1s. The puck hasn't gone in as much as we like, but we've done an excellent job of threatening to shoot and holding the goalkeeper, and that was a nice play, Don.
Shots on goal, 30-11 in favor of Team Ontario.
Oh, they've really dominated, and a lot of our shots have come from face-offs in the offensive zone. We've won so many face-offs and used the point so well off face-offs that we've done an excellent job of really showing some poise in that zone and really moving the puck around quite well. And Canada really has played well.
Well, in the Canada Cup, a lot was made of the fact that they were all right-handed shots on the Soviet team. Pardon me, all left-handed shots.
That's right, Don.
All but 4 on this Soviet midget team are left-handed shots.
That's strange. I'm not sure that's by intent or not, but you're right. A lot of these players are left-handed.
Now it's Fakeoff in across the line. Couldn't control it. It's dumped out to center ice. Smith working in across the line. He dumps it into the Soviet zone. Rostock's back at the net. Bumps with Loach. The puck is loose. Smith trying to feed it out front. Purvis couldn't get a stick on him. It comes back to the line, and that's the end of the second period. A very strong second period for Team Ontario.
Don, it was a great period for Ontario. They really continue to play the man quite well, and the pace is really wearing the Soviets down. I think the last 10 minutes, the Soviets really played a lot in their own zone and certainly didn't look like they were very fresh. And I think Canada's got the right approach here to maintain that good tempo game and not let the Soviets slow it down if they want to do that, because it's really important we maintain that high tempo.
So Team Ontario, after 40 minutes, has jumped into a commanding 5-1 lead over the Soviet Union.
Molson Canadian. Taste that'll stop you cold.
Dance to the music. Dance to the music.
Wayne and Schuster with television history.
I'm George Washington. Would I lie to you?
TV's biggest stars and favorite commercials through the ages.
You know me.
And the original weatherman.
Would you believe 40 days and 40 nights of precipitation? I'm talking rain.
Shot the Soviets, but this time they put 5 goals on the board and they lead it 5-1. One of those goals scored by first-year London Knight Kelly Kane, and it was a pretty goal. You did well. Were you a little nervous before the game? We seemed to hear knees knocking on that blue line when you were standing there.
Everybody was tense before the game. We haven't seen these guys before, and we weren't expecting if they were good or not. Obviously, they were, and their goalie was very good in the first period.
Was that a problem? I mean, did you think about that? Rashid Davidov made some great saves, and you missed some wide-open nets at all.
Well, we were down 1-0. We were all over them. We had to put the puck in sooner or later.
All right, you haven't seen this team. What did he tell you about the Soviets and how to play?
Well, they'd be crisscrossing. Be very hard to hit these guys. They're really quick.
The idea, though, is when you've caught them and hit them, that they really don't seem to be standing up to the hits, that they're going down very easily. Are they not very strong?
Well, they're in good shape there, but I guess they're quite lighter than us.
The goal you got was a pretty goal, breakaway. It was the 4th one of the 5 in the period. Let's have a look at it. It's on a breakaway, and it's a pretty pass that sets you up.
Well, Darren Turcotte threw it up to me in the middle, and I was just looking for the opening in the net, and I seen his legs, so I went through his legs.
Terrific. Kelly Kane scoring the 4th goal of 5. We wish you all the best. Then in Ottawa and with the London Knights. Now let's move to highlights of that second period, and there are lots of them, with Don and Dave.
Well, Dave, I think you were impressed with the young man who plays the wing along with Kelly Kane on that #1 line for Team Ontario.
Yeah, Jeff Greenlaw's a great hockey player, and he scores a goal for us in this game. That's an excellent goal, and he shows his skating skills and his strength, and certainly he's played a very dominating role so far, Don.
Well, you talked about the strength of Greenlaw in your pre-game analysis, and he certainly provided evidence of it on the goal he scored.
It's a nice pass here.
National ski scene. That's coming up later today on Sports Weekend. Now, let's go back to hockey.
In the second period, Graves started it. He was followed by Noble, Zettler, Kane, and Greenlaw as Team Ontario outshot the Soviets 16-6 in period 2, and they have a 5-1 lead. A long drive up along the boards by LaForge. He dumps it to center ice. Now going back after it for the Soviets is Fakeoff. Fakeoff unable to go anywhere with it. Broken up by Team Ontario. Kelly Kane, who has a goal, tied up in that Soviet zone as the Soviets start back. Fakeoff at the line. Knocked over by Greenlaw. The puck goes loose. Fakeoff in the corner as it poked away by Greenlaw. Now going back into the corner is Dervenchik. He loses it, and Turcotte brings it out for Team Ontario. Nice move. Here's a 3-on-1 break. Turcotte backhand shot, and Davidov makes the save.
Excellent play by Darren Turcotte. He attacks the defender one-on-one there. Around him nicely there, and really attacked the triangle very well. Here he comes on the defender here, and he drives well here, protects the puck well, gets a backhand shot away. Again, Davidov Davidoff stood his ground quite nicely, but Turcotte really showed some great finesse there, and he's a very polished hockey player.
Face off in the Soviet zone. Now in the corner it is Graves. Graves back of net. Backhand shot as it comes out to Gregory, and Davidoff makes the save. Along the boards, it's Graves. Well, Gregory back to the point. Neal with a shot, and that deflects off a skate and up into the crowd.
Once again, Don, an excellent job here by Canada. Really used their body well to shield the man off the puck in the corner there. And two of our players, Graves and the other fellow right in a row there, fought off a check with their body and put the puck very well. And they're making great plays, too. They're really showing some confidence in that offensive zone. And, again, good use of the points. 5
regional teams facing the Soviets on this tour. Team Ontario, then Team Quebec, Team Atlantic, Team Western, and Team Pacific. As the two then to Quebec City, Montreal, Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Calgary. Gregory trying to play it off the board. Back to Joy. He was unable to keep it in. A race for the loose puck back in the Canadian zone. Neal gets there first. It's loose in that Canadian zone. In again. Takes the Neal in and holds it for a face-off.
Don, it's really quite a thing here to see a tour like this going across Canada. Credit for putting on a tour like this. Now at the international level, and it gives these players an exposure to Soviet hockey at a very early age, and hopefully these young players.
In international hockey over the Christmas season as you take control of Team Canada in that tour.
It should be very exciting for us, Don. Looking forward to playing 10 games across Canada against Moscow Dynamo, and I'm sure that it'll provide some excitement like this scene here is tonight.
Here's a good knocked off the puck as he attempted to cut for the goal. Hassan keeps in at the point. Through some traffic. Here's wide. Loach was tied up at the side of the net as he was looking for the rebound. Loach goes in. Manages to get this over to Purvis. To Loach. Loach in behind the net trying to fit it out front, and it's opposite. Rubinchik in across the line, tries to split the Bisson beats it out into the center ice area. Loach for into a check from Dervenchik and goes loose back into the Soviet zone. A lead pass now for left. Some good hitting by this Team Ontario aggregation.
Well, you're using their body well, Don, and some good, clean body checks. They're just a great part of Canadian hockey, and certainly it's nice to watch.
Here's Drulia with a spinner. Loose in front of the goal. Drulia again. Over to Crisp, and the shot saved by Davidoff. Well, we talked about you being involved with Team Canada and Moscow Dynamo. I'll be over in Helsinki at the World Junior Hockey Championship as CBC covers 2 of the games involving Team Canada, Soviet Union, and Team Canada and Czechoslovakia on New Year's Day.
Certainly a lot of hockey fans will take those in. I think Team Canada will be real tough.
Back to the net. Settler taken in. Not. This shot just goes by. And in against the board. Wind up and mash behind the Soviet goal.
And one interesting thing becomes very clear. The team on talking now about doing a very fine job. These players, I'm very impressed with their knowledge of the game and the plays there. Puck and certainly the CHA's program of very successful, and there's a lot of very good coaches in this province, and the caliber of hockey.
5-1 is the score as Turcotte. Score as it is fed out front to a lot of fans reacting as Turcotte was hauled down by Zatkoskov.
Definitely holding. He goes down, but Greenlaw comes fights the man off the puck here, puts it out front, and Kane puts it in. He's right on the spot. A very nice goal by Canada. Good pressure, good aggressive skate to lose puck, and that line has really played very well for Ontario.
Greenlaw also has one. Get to that zone with Kozlov to Takeoff in across line.
Once again, you really see the great ability that Darren Turcotte's got here. He's dangerous with the puck, and he attracts the backers and fights him off. Greenlaw doing support quickly, and of course Kelly Kane coming in late behind the play with a stick down, get through the puck real quickly. A nice goal.
6-1. Team Ontario is again the Ottawa Civic Center. We talked about the 5 regional teams. Made a good save. Here's a as Gregory took the shot. Now in the center ice area. Ontario as it's brought back by Graves. Anderson tried to go right wide for Gregory, intercepted by Chapman. Somehow got back into the Soviet zone. Put in behind the net. They take Team Ontario leading the Soviet selection.
Yeah, it was really 44 players from each camp done, and from those 44 players, Canada, and certainly he gave us a good look at.
The puck is loose and zone led by Palazza at the line. It's kept in as Lebedev tries to move. By Team Ontario. Now it's Palazza circling in zone. His pass to across the line, another
defeated one-on-one, and Zetter came across and blocked that. Soviets.
Now in now it's line press.
Don, it's very interesting to watch the Soviets. They're playing the same style at their change of position, but along with that, there's great passing skills, and they just get there at a young age. Don't handle teams too obviously. They're making control this game quite a bit now. Play quite consistently.
And you also made a good observation earlier in the game by Team Ontario.
A lot of scoring.
Nikolai has he's been right. And Rossetti covers up. Player Penkolenkov.
So this face-off we see here is just tremendous technique by Canada. Technique. And again, it's a classic example of how we won about face-off. One part of North American hockey, the ability to
out into the center ice area, but he was back to Team Ontario's zone. Now, Canadian team for a group that has only been together 3 days.
They're really playing. They look like they're well cohesive here.
Center ice. Velikov goes in back of the net. Still controlling it. Now he's taken it against the board. Trying to race after it, but it was not too for the go after him. Now gets aggressive forechecker throughout. Greenlaw. Good position. Kane already has two. Outside, trying to move in front.